Hello everyone, this is Megha Purohit. Welcome to Clackata. So today I am going to discuss with you all the basic concepts of tort. So before going into the depth of the concepts of tort, I would like to discuss the meaning of tort. Tort, the word tort has been derived from the Latin word tortum, which means twisted, crooked or round. So in other words, in simple words, the tort means tort is a civil wrong which consists of various kinds of wrongs which also involves the legal injury of a person's right. So now here the concept of tort involves basically three aspects. First, tort is a civil wrong. Second, it involves the violation of legal right of a person. Violation of legal right. That is legal injury. Third, it can be compensated in the form of unliquidated damages. This is the most important part of tort, which differentiate it from other laws, for example from criminal law as well as from contracts law. So tort is different. Tort is also civil wrong, and even contract is also civil wrong. Both are against the private parties. But in contract, the damages are in the form of liquidated damages, whereas in tort, the damages are in the form of unliquidated damages. Now question arises, what are the unliquidated damages? So basically, unliquidated damages are those kind of damages in which compensation are not predetermined on the basis of stipulation between the parties. Now, if we differentiate tort from criminal law, so basically tort is a civil wrong. It arises against the parties, between the parties, whereas a crime is a public wrong. It is against the state. Now, these are the three basic concepts of tort. Civil wrong is a civil wrong, it's a violation of legal right, and compensation can be granted in the form of unliquidated damages. Now, the basically two concepts arises in tort. The first one is injuria sine damnum. And the another one is damnum sine injuria. Now, what is the definition of injuria sine damnum? Injuria sine damnum means violation of legal right without any damages. However, damnum sine injuria means damages without any kind of injury. Now, the question arises that what kind of situation, in which situation the damages can be awarded under law of tort. So, basically in the leading case of Ashby versus White, in this case, When natural circumstances happen, it is not in the control of the defendant. Second one is plaintiff's consent. First exception of strict liability is act of God. Second is plaintiff's consent. Third one is statutory obligation. When any person, for example here defendant is acting under some kind of statute for fulfilling his obligation, then also he can take defense of strict liability. And another exception is common benefit. Last exception. For the benefit of larger community. So these are the four exceptions where the defendant can take defense for escaping from the strict liability. Now the next concept is vicarious liability. Vicarious liability. Now the term vicarious liability, this concept is depend upon the doctrine of respondent superior. Liability imposed on person for the act done by another person. For example, master-servant relationship, in which master is liable for all the acts done by the servant during the course of employment. So here the term during the course of employment, which servant is authorized by the master, then only can master become liable in that case. So this is the doctrine of respondent superior, in which the master is superior to the servant. So hence he will be liable for all the authorized acts during the course of business. Now the next concept is negligence. Now this is the most important concept of law of tort. Negligence. So basically there are three concepts. Basically there are 3 points in law of negligence. So negligence is also kind of tort where defendant owed a duty. Duty is very important. Second one is so now the first point is defendant owed a duty towards a plaintiff, and second one is breach of that duty by the defendant, and in consequence of that breach of duty, if the any kind of damages happens to a person, for example to the plaintiff, then only that person can take the recourse of his action under the tort of negligence. For example, if we see in daily situation in medical profession, the defendant, that is a doctor, owed a duty towards the patient, and if there is the breach of duty, then patient can sue the doctor for negligence under law of tort. Now there is a landmark case of Dono versus Stevenson under law of negligence. In that case, for law of negligence, judge clearly held that for awarding damages, for awarding compensation, there must be reasonable nexus, reasonable possibility, for example damages, and in case of breach of that duty, if there is reasonable and forcible duty exists between the defendant and plaintiff, and then only damages can be awarded in that case. So this is a very important case. You all must remember these cases. Now the next concept is nuisance. Nuisance. So basically, nuisance is an unlawful interference with person's right or person's enjoyment or person's land. So it's a kind of unlawful interference. heat, smoke, water, gas, noise, pollution. So nuisance are of two kinds, of public nuisance and private nuisance. Public nuisance is generally considered as crime, whereas private nuisance is dealt under the law of tort. The next topic is defamation. Now, the definition of defamation can be summarized as follows. For example, the publication of a statement which tends to injure or lower the person's reputation or his property in the society. Because the reputation of person, basically it is considered as the valuable asset for any person. So it tends to injure that person's position or lowers the position. This constitutes defamation. The defamation are of two kinds, slander and libel. Now slander, publication of a statement in transient form, for example by words spoken or gestures, so it can directly reach to the ears of the plaintiff. And the libel is publication of statement in some permanent form, for example by drawing pictures, in writing letters. So these are the forms. So libel is a permanent form and slander is a temporary form. Now another topic is general defenses. What are the defenses which can be taken by the defendant for escaping the liability in the law of tort? The first one is voluntary non-fit injuria. Voluntary non-fit injuria means when persons, plaintiff consented for the harm, then in that case defendant will not be liable. Second one is act of God. As I stated earlier, some kind of natural events which are not in the control of that person is act of God. Next one is statutory obligation. If the defendant is acting under some kind of statute. Fourth one is mistake. So basically mistake is of two types, mistake of law and mistake of fact. As you know that mistake of law is not at all excuse. However, mistake of fact can be excused in law of tort depending upon the facts and circumstances. Not all the time mistake can be taken as a defense. Fifth one is inevitable accident. Which can't be controlled by the act of defendant. So basically these are the 5 defendants. These are the general defenses. However, this is not exhaustive. There are some kinds of other defenses which defendant can take, depends upon the case to case. But these are some general